No. You know what? It's okay. So, is it ready? Yeah. Is it on? Yeah. Is it recording? Okay, cool. We can start now. If you guys don't know me, I'm Tina Fay. I'm on the district treasurer. Tina Nguyen.
Hi, I'm Nina Nguyen. I'm the district governor.
And this is the elections process and campaign walkthrough.
Yay!
Yeah. So we're gonna start off with the executive process. So who here has never been to DCON? A lot of you. All right, you guys are in for a ride. So for the election process, what you need is you have to submit all the necessary paperwork, choose your campaign manager wisely, and prepare speeches. For conclave, this is for potential endorsement for executive candidates, and this is for LTG candidates when they get elected. And there's like caucus, yeah. And for decon, that's where the fun really begins, right? You have divisional caucuses, nominating conference if there's more than 2 candidates, and House of Delegates. All right.
So just to emphasize on choosing a campaign manager, it's really important to choose someone you can trust to support you, because if you don't have the proper support at district convention, then it's hard to run and face such a cutthroat atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Like it's very intense running for any position. So you really want someone who will be there for you as a friend and a campaign manager.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So the other things that you'll need overall, you're gonna need to make a campaign trifold. There's gonna be examples later. You need to make a candidate literature. You need a campaign manager. It needs to prepare your speeches and do your district paperwork.
So in the past, we usually have campaign posters, but this year, because campaign posters are honestly really expensive, we're going to be switching over to campaign trifold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay, for speeches, these are all the speeches. If you're running for executive, these are the ones that you get to prepare. So the first speech that you need to prepare is conclave. These speeches are going to be around 3 to 5 minutes, and basically what you want to include in these speeches is your qualifications for the job, past achievements to kind of show that you're successful in the past, and new ideas that you want to implement in the district or what you want to achieve as that candidate. For decon, caucus should be the same speech about that you did in conclave, but caucus you want to kind of have your speech that includes like district. So maybe for conclave you're addressing your division only, but for caucus you really want to address the whole district and your ideas for helping everyone as a whole. General session speech. This is 30 seconds to 1 minute. It's basically a speech in front of everyone in the dining hall, and it's like introducing yourself to the delegates and the general members. And it's short, but I feel like it's kind of important because you want this speech you want to show people that you're personable, friendly, and like to show that you could be the face of the district, right? And nominating conference. This is only if for the position that you're running. It's only if there's more than 2 candidates running for that position. So during nominating conference, which is on Friday night.
Yeah.
They're basically going to eliminate one of the candidates or one or more candidates, and there's no speeches involved, but there's a questioning period.
Yeah. So for example, if Cameron, Tina, and I were all running to be bulletin editor, we would have to get rid of one person. So I get eliminated, and then it's just Cameron and Tina running from then on. It's just a time period to get rid of any, not extra candidates, but any candidate, to make sure we are reduced to 2 candidates for House of Delegates. So during nominating conference, usually I think it's just questions from executive board, but I'm not completely sure. I know that they're asked questions though, and then you guys vote, and then it's decided on Friday who gets eliminated.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then House of Delegates, that's when they choose. That's when delegates vote for the people that they want for that position. And with this speech, it's not necessarily going to be the same as their conclave or caucus speech. This is your very last speech. The message that you want everyone to know about you as a candidate. This is the speech that will hopefully convince all the delegates to vote for you. And so sometimes like people like use like the emotional side or they really want to emphasize certain ideas that they mentioned before, but it's not necessarily like overall like the caucus or conclave. It's like kind of like the last thought.
Yeah, it's kind of like a dinner plan. So your caucus is your appetizer, then the general session is kind of like a short entree, and then your House of Delegates is the dessert. So you want to leave everyone in a good taste.
Good analogy.
Oh yeah, and also during House of Delegates, there's gonna be a questioning period.
Yeah.
But not by the delegates, by executive board
and international trustee.
yeah.
So you'll receive a maximum of 5 questions.
And for those questions, you have as much time as you need. So don't try to rush through or like just make you don't have to worry about answering it right away. Because for caucus questioning, you have a certain amount of time, but for House of Delegates, you have like unlimited. So like don't ramble on, but know that you have enough time to answer. You don't have to answer right away. You can think about it.
Personally, from my experience, I think the one thing that really, really makes or breaks your chances of being elected are the questions at House of Delegates. Because if you try to rush your answers and you don't really make sense, people aren't going to think you're capable of handling serving the district at that level. So make sure you're careful about how you answer and you think through what you're going to say before you start speaking.
Yeah, and also, if for some reason you don't know how to answer that, as long as you sound confident, like you can totally BS it and make it seem like you know what you're doing. So just make sure you sound confident and just don't be nervous, and because people are gonna see that side.
Yeah, if you're worried about something, don't let that stress get to you, and don't express that sort of stress in House of Delegates because people want to know you can handle things under pressure.
Okay, paperwork. So the paperwork is pretty self-explanatory. They have a set deadline that they want you to turn it in through mail, not just email but mail. So the signatures that you need is from your faculty advisor, Kiwanis advisor, school principal, and regional advisor. For the paperwork, they do accept e-signatures, so you don't have to go to your advisor physically. You could just email them and ask them for an e-signature. And with the paperwork, you need to mail it to Mr. Hennings on time. So the due date is February 28th. He has to be at his office by February 28th. So definitely recommend sending it like a week earlier.
Yeah, if it's due on February 28th, it doesn't mean send out February 28th.
Yeah.
It means send out like February 25th so that it's there by February 28th. If you guys need the address for Mr. Hennings, it's the CNH Kiwanis District Office. If you Google it, it pops up, but we can also post it out to let you guys know where it is.
It should be on the paperwork too.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an example of some of the literatures. Literature, it's 8.5 by 11 inches. It can't be bigger than that, but it can be smaller than that. So I've seen literatures who are like there's little handouts, and those are pretty cute too. But like usually the normal literature size is like the printer paper. So I ran twice in the past, so these are 2 different literatures. This is the first time I ran, and one mistake that I did here, way too many words. No one's gonna read all of this. They just want the basic information and like an easy read. So over here, I compressed. I didn't have any long paragraphs or anything. I just listed out my qualifications, achievements, goals, and just like stats and stuff. So yeah. So more pictures, less words, in my opinion.
Yeah, another piece of advice is really highlight the points. So I think some things that are really important is bold the key words. So if you say like, oh, I have 350 volunteer service hours, then highlight 350. I would bold 350 volunteer service hours because then it really stands out, and that's the first thing people will see.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you run for endorsement at Conclave and you get the endorsement, definitely include that in your literature so you know that you have the support of your own division.
Yeah. My literature isn't posted on the presentation, but one mistake I had is that I didn't put I was endorsed by my home division because I turned in the wrong literature. Make sure you check it that you turn in the right literature too, by the way. So I turned in the wrong literature, which was before I was endorsed by my home division, and like a lot of people just came up to me and asked why that spot was blank because it kind of makes me look, incompetent. So yeah.
But also, you're gonna be sending this your literature to Mr. Hennings by email. So you don't have to send it to him by mail, but make sure you send it in on time because I know last econ I sent it in a day late and it wasn't in the candidate's profile thing, the packet. And so it didn't really matter for me because I was running unopposed, but it would have looked super bad if I did run against someone. So yeah, make sure you turn it in on time. Okay, so this is examples of campaign posters, but this year we have the trifold.
Yeah.
And so the dimensions of the trifold is 28 by 40 inches. It cannot be bigger than that, but it can be smaller. And so my campaign posters were basically my literature, but just like enlarged. And yeah. And what I did in the past, Decon has like themes, right? And I like to incorporate my posters into the theme. So 2 years ago it was like adventure themed or like up. So I had like the house of the balloons. And then last year it was like kind of like a murder mystery theme. So I had like a mystery bulletin board theme. But you can do anything you want. It's totally up to your creative like vision. And with the trifold, yeah, you can really be creative with that, and it's a lot cheaper than the poster.
Yeah,
so.
my poster was $40.
Yeah.
But with trifolds, you honestly have a lot more creativity to go with it.
Mhm.
Because with posters, a lot of people just get theirs, just make it graphically and then print it. But with trifolds, you can decorate it, you can add 3D aspects. Like, you can make it a lot cooler than posters. And I think trifolds will really give you the chance to expand upon your creativity and show people what you can really do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So running for lieutenant governor. So it's very similar to executive position, except you don't run at district convention. If you are elected lieutenant governor, you basically work at district convention. So just to begin the process, so one, you submit all the necessary paperwork to district office. So there's a due date for lieutenant governors too. It just depends on when your division's conclave is. So usually, if your division's conclave is on like February 12th, you want to submit it at least 1 week before. So make sure it's out before February 5th. You send it to the same place. The paperwork is available online. It should go. The address is also listed on the paper. It's the same place. CNH Kiwanis District Office to Mr. Hennings. Next, if your home club does a caucus, or if your home club has 2 potential lieutenant governor candidates, what the home club president can decide to do is have a home club caucus. So it's like potential endorsement from a club. So I go to Hercules High School, and if there are two lieutenant governor candidates from Hercules High School, we can hold a club caucus, and then one person can leave with an endorsement from Hercules High School as lieutenant governor. And then during conclave, the process is very similar to what we do at district convention. So first, there's a campaign manager speech. I believe it's 1 to 2 minutes. And then your candidate speeches is also 3 to 5 minutes. And then you have caucus, which is a questioning period. I believe is it 5 minutes here or 3?
For what?
For caucus.
For caucus, a decon's 5 minutes.
Okay, then it's also 5 minutes at conclave too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions so far, by the way? We're going through this pretty rapidly. So things you'll need. I don't know if all conclaves use campaign poster, but you for sure need a candidate profile, which is basically your literature, a campaign manager, your prepared speeches, and the district paperwork to turn in. So for appointed board, so every year the district governor decides what positions are available to the district and for members to apply. And applications are also usually made by the district governor sometime after district convention. I think I released it 3 weeks after district convention. It was around May. So the positions are basically determined by the district administrator and new district governor, also with input from executive board. So you email the complete application before the deadline. There are no exceptions. So make sure that you're not procrastinating on it and you're turning it in at like 11:58. Because if your internet crashes, sorry, you should have turned it in sooner. And if you're appointed, you basically have to submit your paperwork.
Okay. So, So with caucus, at DCon, the way it's structured, since it's really hard to get all the divisions in one room, we separate divisions into 5 different rooms. And so you're basically going to be doing your caucus speech 5 times. And then each time you have different like caucus questions or whatever the members want to ask you. And so the way it's structured, the campaign manager goes in first, does their 1-minute speech. But there's a knocking process, so they're going to walk up to the door and say, permission to enter. And then the moderator is going to say, permission granted. They're going to walk in, and they're going to be like, permission to speak. And they're going to say, permission granted, yeah. And you have 1 minute to speak. Would you like a paper signal or a knocking signal for like 15 seconds left? And you choose. And you do your speech, you go back. And now for the candidate, right? They do the same thing. And yeah.
So it's very careful that you follow the knocking procedure because everyone expects it. And it might get a little awkward if you just walk in.
Yeah.
Oh, also, so the way rooms are assigned for caucus, it's basically by division. So usually, might be paired with like a smaller division, and then medium-sized divisions are put together. So the rooms